went away for a sec. Got 2 people on there. All right. How you guys doing? As always, I am in the middle of a match because I have no idea how long it will take for the initial people to start rolling in. I will keep talking, however. Just bear with me while I do that. As always, even though it won't work, please feel free to leave a comment or ask a question or anything really. Just basically let me know that you have a pulse and that it's not, something. I'm not only being watched by, spam bots or whatever it is. That would help me immensely. If only I could be naked for you guys. If only. I mean, I could. I just might get flagged or something, which I'm not trying to do. But yeah, screw it. Same old. But okay, 4. We double our audience already. So yeah, I guess I might as well jump into it. You 4 special people, you. Yeah, I did do a collab. Unfortunately, although I do have his consent, I have it all kinds of different ways, but I do not have the only form's official consent form. So I do have like the video, and it's over half hour long. That like I would like to post. I did post the cum shot because watching the analytics, apparently people, I don't know why this is news to me, have very short attention spans. So if it'll show like 0 seconds, like people watch, you retain people for 0 seconds, which is really encouraging. So I figured, fuck it, why not just jump right to the cum shot? So I did. That being said, kind of one of the caveats that I was sort of trying to throw in there was, and it's still in there, but I haven't gotten a single one, and I get it. Again, people don't like paying for stuff, and also, you figure maybe someone else will do it for me, that kind of thing. I get it. But yeah, I basically said that if there were enough, tips, which I don't have an exact amount in mind, but something reasonable from different people. It doesn't have to be all at once. I'm a man of my word. I'll post either more, the whole video, along with the breeding video, which is the same basic deal. Can't post to OnlyFans, but can post to other stuff. In either case, I'd like to do that, but I'm throwing a number out there. It depends on the person, but like an OnlyFans, a collab could run, between $20 to $100, basically. I mean, it really is all over the place. But as much as I enjoy doing them, and I do enjoy doing them, I'd kind of like a little attaboy, if that makes sense. And it's really hot too. I mean, honestly, and I'm not just talking about money here, but one of the things that I said I was going to talk about was the collab itself, and I'll respect his privacy and everything else. I mean, I'm not trying to give him away. He did request to wear a mask, or I said that was an option if he was open to filming, and he said sure. So, but 18-year-old college student, nice guy, loves sucking dick. No, there's not fucking in the video. I asked if he would be open to anything else. I didn't say specifically what, but um, I did say, you know, would you be open to anything else? He said, just at least the first time, you know, oral, that sort of thing. Um, but boy, can that guy suck a cock, really. I mean, he's cute, he's intelligent. Like if you were ever to get the chance to talk to him, whatever. Um, but he is a bona fide cocksucker. There we go. I just lost. Um, and uh, I mean, I had to stop a couple times, like mid video. Like, you know, that just shows how good he is. That, you know, I'm multitasking. I'm holding the phone. I'm, uh, you know, sucking my dick, everything else. Uh, but it was that good that I had, you know, I was like, also I had a pretty built up load there. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was amazing. I got a bunch of different angles on it. And, uh, you know, so we got, so I mean, I posted initially another preview, but like I got them, one of the angles is from the ceiling mount camera where it's looking down and you can see them. And uh, I mean, I kind of like to do it naturally anyway. It's not like a stage thing really, but I do put it on a little more for uh, performance, I guess. But you know, people seem to like kind of my smile or my smirk, I guess. I guess it's a little bit cocky in a good way, if that makes sense. Uh, and you know, kind of flexing everything while you know, he's sucking my dick, and so you get a full view of that. You know, his up close shots, head over the bed kind of thing, which is personally my favorite position. Like especially if I'm watching porn or something. Um, I've loved. I mean, certainly from above, but especially those like behind the scenes shots where you can see like, you know, balls like slapping against his face and everything. That is, I mean, to me at least, really hot. And instead of, I mean, if you've seen the video already, because it's up there right now, I might modify it. I might potentially take it down only because he had asked if I could do it, a certain kind of edit on it. But it would be basically the same video, and I would put it back up. But uh, but I mean, in the past, sometimes I've, you know, and the way I kind of prefer it a lot of times is just like coming right down a guy's throat. Um, you know, like, you know, usually it's not always, but usually involves like him sucking my nuts, and then while I jerk off, and then I take his head and press it down, and you know, he swallows it alone. It's hot, feels good. Um, if it matters at all, I'll take off the shirt. Who cares? Um, but uh, but I said for, sorry, I digress. Um, but the first shot I said was going to go, you know, I'd shoot on his face, and then, you know, because the first shot's always the biggest one anyway, or the hardest. But and then, you know, swallow the rest basically. Because I feel like too often, as far as at least videos are concerned, I sort of put my needs above maybe what people might like to see. So I want people to see at least a good amount of cum. You see it, it shoots like all, you know, right on it. Well, I mean, the mask, but the face. Um, and he sucks all the rest of it out. And yeah, I mean, it's about a half hour long video, but I mean, kind of trimmed down. Again, you got to take out, you don't have to, but it helps to take out, you know, bits and pieces that, you know, so it's not, it doesn't just drag on or seem, you know, you want to keep the best parts in. Uh, but if any of you guys have seen that, by the way, or I assume you have, if you're probably watching this, probably means that you at least have some, you've followed me for some time now. Uh, I'm assuming and hoping we get more than 4 people, but in either case, 4 people is fine. I'm talking, to who I'm talking to. Um, but yeah, let me know. I mean, if you like that or if you want to see more. I'm not, because it's not like I'm setting a specific price on it. At the same time, it's not like, uh, yeah, give me $5 and I'll show the whole thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll come up with a number, but give me some incentive essentially to release the whole thing. On top of, again, the other video where I bareback, so far the only time that I've done, and breed the guy, and I'll show all that good stuff. Um, I did get kind of an influx of new, I mean, not like a massive wave, but more people than I normally would on OnlyFans, and it's been a challenge, not to steer totally away from the collab, but in general, as far as like where I've been and stuff, I'm not saying I'm at the top of everyone's minds or anything, but I try to stay at least semi-relevant, and hopefully, if you're following me, you enjoy the content and you'd like to see more. So, that being said, I've been putting a lot of focus into the like doing my training business, and been running meta ads on Facebook and Instagram. Maybe you've seen them. Uh, there's a chance, if you're following me, that you happen to live in the same area I do, and if so, you may have seen them, um, but possibly not. But I put a lot of work into, just like the same thing I do with the content on the OnlyFans and vice versa. I put a lot of effort into making good content. Is the best? I'm not saying it's the best, but you know, more than the average Joe. I think that's fair. Um, but I've been both making the content and tailoring, trying to target certain audiences and respond to certain audiences that have been, either responding to the ads, that kind of thing. So I'm definitely not done here or on the OnlyFans kind of thing. It's just that's been consuming a lot of the bulk of my time lately. Um, and so it's just hard to give an equal amount of attention to both. But trust me, I'm still a fucking horn dog. And I'm still looking for collabs, honestly. In the sense that, if you, I know I keep trying to sound modest, and because that's just kind of how I was raised. I never liked like genuinely asshole cocky guys. Um, but I know that's kind of part of the persona a lot of people have of me anyway. I mean, not like genuine, but they like the sort of dominant fighter kind of thing. Um, in either case, can't remember exactly where I was going with that, but you know, training wise, it's taken up a lot of my time. But I'm not done with that. Yeah, the OnlyFans thing. I mean, I'm still doing that. I plan on posting more. What I'm planning on doing actually is making, and if you have any suggestions where exactly, what I'm thinking is maybe some like maybe like a black shirt, something like this, or something black essentially, so I can come on and you can see all the cum. Or I've had, thoughts about like, why don't you come on your face, whatever. Um, who knows? But that's one of the things I'd like. It's kind of funny. It's uh, not problems, but a couple issues with that is one. A lot of times I'm so tired at the end of the day, like I'll be edging or I'll be jerking off, and then I just pass out. Like I just wake up the next morning, or when my alarm goes off, whatever. Um, I don't know if it has to do with lack of blood flow to the brain or whatever, but it's like I'll be jerking and I'll plan on, either coming or taking video of it, whatever. Although what I hope to do is kind of make a longer form video, not like super long, but long enough where you can see me jerking and different positions and that kind of thing. And with the cum shot, because I mean everyone's different, nothing's wrong with having one or the other, but I'm definitely a shooter. Like I shoot a lot, or I mean I shoot and I shoot a lot. And some guys are just, or not just, but they're dribblers. Like they're like, oh, I'm coming, and then it's just like just out of their dick, which I mean it's fine, but I think it's fair to say most people are into like hard cum shots. And I've had more requests for that, and I haven't done it as much, not for any other reason than just um, kind of what I mentioned, in that I prefer, if I'm going to come, that um, yeah, sorry, I got a message. That it be with someone. It doesn't have to be, but I just prefer it that way. Um, so yeah, but I'm planning on doing that. Certainly, if I can get anyone to either take the time, or if OnlyFans didn't have such a bug up their ass about the release form. Um, I'm not saying consent and release forms and stuff like that aren't important. Again, I make sure I have consent and everything like that for any video, regardless of whether it's on OnlyFans or not, that I can tangibly see. Because, yeah, in any case, but it's amazing. I mean, just some people are like, no, I don't want to fill out it. It's not like a big form or anything. And again, OnlyFans is so anal, pun sort of intended, about everything matching up just right. It might take like at least 5 times to try and before they approve it, which is a pain in the ass because it's hard enough to get people to do it as it is. So if you're a creator, quote unquote, that makes it a lot easier, because then you don't have to deal with the release form. The release form is basically already baked into your profile, or whatever legalese there is. I like that we got a couple new subscribers here, or not subscribers, people watching, whatever. But yeah, I mean, if you, in the off chance that any of you 8 people are creators, you know, you could always shoot your shot, because that makes things a hell of a lot easier for everyone involved. You don't have to go through the whole release. I still have to tag the other person in the video. Like I have to say, this is, um, you know, fuck my ass 5,000 or whatever. But uh, you you don't have to go through that whole process. So yeah, as people start kind of streaming in a little bit, which it appears to be now, and I'm glad. Um, yeah, I mean, whether you're a creator, whether you're not, either way, hit me up. But it just helps more if you're a creator, because it takes less hassle, or makes it less of a hassle. But yeah, if you're just joining me, okay, we're jumping up now. It always seems to be around. I don't know if it's because it's later in the broadcast or something that people jump in, but it's always like around maybe 20 to 30 minutes in. I mean, I'll tell you what, respectfully, I'm not planning on doing a 3-hour broadcast again. It's the other thing is that one of the reasons I'd also kind of like to get people to the OnlyFans, and if you have suggestions as far as discounts, because I know $10 breaks the bank, but in all seriousness, if you have ideas, because I'd love to do like live streaming or cams, that kind of thing, but this particular platform that I'm using right now is called StreamYard. it costs like almost $90 a month, and initially started because you know, I let the free trial, uh, you know, go, and they said they were going to let me know. I don't think I saw a message about it, but in either case, yeah. So like $90 a month, it's got to be worth something. And if whether it's tips, whether it's people, converting people to OnlyFans, whatever it is, you know, just I, it's not something that's worth it in the long term. If I'm not getting a return on it, it's just that simple. Um, but so it was, I don't know, maybe a week ago or so that I got charged. So we'll see. Oh, thank you, person that Coco Fondue. Yes. Um, I know. Oh my God. Yes, that was the issue. I mean, I know it, like, for streamers or streaming, whatever, it's supposed to be like, one of the best. But if I can't get this fucking chat to work right, which is driving me so nuts, because that's one of the main reasons I started this, is I wanted to be able to communicate with people. It's like I'm not going to be paying that. The first one I kind of let slip through my fingers, as far as, and I know it's a typical marketing thing. Oh, you do your free trial, and then we'll let you know before it expires. Except, again, I don't think, maybe they did, but I don't think they let me know. But yeah, it's just I'm sorry. Um, but you know, I might even do. Um, okay, well, I hope that's the case, and that. Thank you again for your input. If that's the case, because I've had people say that they try to comment, and who knows, throughout this whole thing, so far, excuse me, Kogo Fondue, you've been the only one that's been able to get through, and I don't know why. Because I mean, it seemed to be on X. You're able to get through, but I've encouraged people to try to, use the YouTube channel that I made basically for that purpose. I put a link to it. I think the Streamlab link, which I don't know how exactly it all works. I'm not super tech savvy, but basically I need to find another way, if I'm going to continue live streaming, than to do it through here, um, because whether it's an X thing, whether it's a StreamYard thing, something ain't working right, and it's just not worth the money right now. Um, but even if it were, like, not expected, because I know a lot of people on, like, OnlyFans, live streams or cam shows, whatever you want to call them, it's expected that you'll leave tips, and while I'd obviously love that, um, again, I'm not like some of these people where it would be like, you better tip me, fucking Brad again, but like $200 to take my pants off. No, I mean, if you want to leave a tip, thank you. Um, if not, so be it. Um, Thank you. I mean, I'll keep trying, honestly. And I do mean it when I say thank you. Yeah, the 90 is just, it's crazy to me. Trust me, I feel you on that. Um, yeah. Um, the other thing also is that I know a lot of people would like to see me do, I mean, hey, let's face it, a lot of the reason people, you're watching right now is because, you like the content that I put out. Most of the content that I put out is sexually related. So, um, whether it's, being dominant, whether it's jerking off, whether it's collabs, whatever, um, you know, and it's just on that kind of platform, at least that way I could do it without being afraid of someone pressing the flag button or whatever it is on X, where you know someone last time I did one said something like it. Maybe it's true. I don't know. It's like people jerk off all the time on X and do all this other kind of stuff on live streams. I'm like, maybe, but I was looking into it, and I mean, maybe it doesn't happen. I mean, but you know, all it could take is some asshole that is like, oh, harumph, harumph, I don't like this, and, you know, reports you, and then you get into trouble, and it's like I'd rather just do it clean, so to speak. Um, you know, so like right now, I'd love to be like naked for you guys right now and show you my ass or whatever. I'm just making shit up, but whatever you want to see. And I'll be perfectly honest. Again, like I actually am, and I'm not exaggerating. I am naked or nude like 99% of the time, just on my own. So um, I have no problem being naked um, and doing stuff, really. And especially the more I've done it, the more you just get used to it. Um, so, I mean, the other problem is just or problem, but the thing is that I don't know. I mean, I know they have the analytics of when most people are, at least on X, where, you know, the basically your core audience base, which I believe in my case is roughly between like 21 to 35 or something like that. Although I mean, I know I have a good number of older people as well, which is perfectly fine. But it shows different times. If you haven't, you know, if you don't have like an X premium thing, which I'm guessing a lot of you don't, and it'll show like just it's not showing exact like who exactly the members are, but it's showing like basically what times of day people are most active, that kind of thing. On your page, whatever. But I just I would need enough subscribers, or I would hope I would have enough subscribers and know basically what days and times work best for them, so that if I started doing on a live stream on OnlyFans or something like that, that it's not there to be be the end of the world, but so I don't have like one or two people in there. I've been in chats before again where there's like free profiles, and they who knows, maybe I'll switch to that, in the sense that I won't go into all the details about which is which, but basically a subscription model and pay-per-view model. Pay-per-view model basically is free or almost free subscription, but you pay, or you pay for the content that you want, or tip live streams, that kind of thing, or subscription, which is basically you pay whatever monthly fee it is, in this case $10. And oh, thank you, by the way. Yeah, I got a haircut the other week, which actually I did specifically for, if you weren't if you didn't hear it before, I've been doing a lot of Facebook and Instagram advertising, which has been taking up a lot of my time, which is why I've been posting on here as much, but I'm not by any means done here. I'm just trying. There's only so many hours in the day to do different things. So I made a video from my car. I really should post the ad, because I'm happy with it. It has a little bit of. It's meant to be humorous. It has a bit of dark humor. It starts out with. Yeah, I'm in my car actually, and I was originally going to make it so, because I don't know if you remember, especially there was this fad for a while where everyone was doing videos in their car, and you know, people ranting, about anything, but especially America and stuff like that. I was gonna start with a line like, you know, I have something so important to tell you that I'm in my car because, as everyone knows, being in your car makes whatever you have to say that much more important. It cuts to some, funny clip, but it's just too long for like a 90-second format. 'Cause it has to be at least, or at most, 90 seconds for you to be able to advertise, essentially. Um, but it just starts off with, "Are you a senior?" And it goes to the classic original clip of, you know, the woman on the ground. "Help! I've fallen. I can't get up." And you know, but want to lose weight. It shows Fat Bastard from Austin Powers, if you know, recognize that. Of course, I'm not happy. Look at me. I'm a big fat slob. So I mean, it's a little bit rough, but it's what my mom would call guy humor. Um, but in any case, yeah, my hair was getting a little shaggy at the time, and so I just decided to get a haircut to clean up to make the ad, and um, I think it worked out well. Um, Total sidebar, just for a second, just because it bugs me when I see myself on camera. If any of you have ever wondered, why do his nipples or chest look off? And maybe it's just me because I know myself and I'm self-conscious about it. Um, my right side here, um, I have, I've always had, uh, it's kind of gone up and down to a degree, but it was called gynecomastia, which is basically it's excess breast tissue for some reason. It's just kind of a genetic thing, or it's just something that some guys have. Like this side is normal, but this side isn't. And I mean, barring undergoing surgery just to have the tissue removed, there's not really anything I can do about it. Personally, it drives me nuts because it always, like, if I'm taking a picture or a video or something, it makes it look to me like like either it's more fat or it's like a titty, whatever. Um, Hopefully not with you, but you guys. But if you've ever wondered, or if it comes across that way, um, no, I mean I basically have a normal chest. It's just a little bit of excess breast tissue, basically on the inside. Um, well, obviously on the inside, but that causes it to look bigger than it is. So uh, the more you know, you know. So, um, but yeah, just I think I'm a little more self-conscious about. Well, I mean, everyone I would say is more self-conscious about how they look and that sort of thing, than maybe some other people might be, in the sense that, like, they notice little imperfections about themselves or things they don't like. And I mean, trust me, I'll be the first to admit it. I mean, also had weight fluctuations. I'm not saying I'm in perfect shape right now, but I'm a hell of a lot better than I was at, let's say, the beginning of the year. Um, but I've always had kind of body image issues. I don't know how this turned into a seminar on you know self acceptance, but in either case, it's true. So yeah, I mean, just segueing again, you guys clearly apparently like listening to some of my ramblings, so just kind of I go off on the stream of consciousness, but it sort of started in like high school, especially wrestling, mainly because you have to weight cut. You don't have to, but you do. Um, and since it's not, I know a lot of quotations, encouraged, they don't, no one really teaches you. I mean, unless maybe you come from like a wrestling family or someone, you grew up completely in the sport. Nobody really tells you how to properly weight cut. So basically, I destroyed my body more or less, weight cutting. And we're talking about every single ounce mattering. Like when you're on the scale, it's not like, oh, a pound here, a pound there. No, we're talking about like, 0.2 ounces or 2 ounce, whatever it is. Um, So you're constantly monitoring that, and over time, it led to an eating disorder and just a lot of. It wasn't that I was comparing myself to other wrestlers in the sense of, my body, like, I didn't feel like my body was as good. It was just that it just kind of developed over time this feeling of, being so obsessed with weight and, that sort of thing that, it just kind of drove me crazy. And one day I literally woke up and, I mean, this is one of the, like, maybe the only time it's happened, but like pure vertigo in the sense of like I woke up and the room was just literally spinning, and which is not a good sign. It's in wrestling season. Long story short, basically, the doctors determined that I had basically I exhausted or depleted my adrenals or adrenal glands. Um, because I was doing basically every unhealthy thing to cut weight that you can, um, and it it takes its toll. I mean, I did very well in wrestling. I beat a lot of people I was not supposed to beat, and not only because of this, but partly because of this, I lost to some people that I should have beaten, because I was kind of like a walking corpse. I had no energy. My body was kind of shut down. So, um, but yeah, as far as wrestling, which I mean, maybe you're not interested in as far as an actual sport, but I know it's still, probably a turn on in the sense of, a lot of guys like, sort of dominant, you know, aggressive wrestler types, which I am. Um, but went on the first year. I mean, I did like a brief summer camp beforehand, but I went on my freshman year, basically with no wrestling experience. My second year, and this is not like a tiny little school that just sucks, but by my second year, and we're talking about a school with over 4,000 people and students total. At least at the time, it's probably more now. But made varsity my second year. Went to districts regionals. Was I the best wrestler? No, I hadn't started it, as a, like, where a lot of them do at like 5 years old, and they come up that way, and they're state champions their freshman year, which we actually had a number of those. Um, but it was just trial by fire in the sense that I was going to just summer camps and doing tournaments constantly, to get better and better and better, and made it to the regional tournament. I think my junior year, I got third in the district, and uh, it was at that point my body just basically broke down on me. It was like no mas, and not fun. So from that point on, I kind of, well, I mean, I definitely dealt with the whole eating disorder thing, but which I'm not saying woe is me. It's just matter of fact. Uh, but I have always had kind of body image issues. So especially, and I get it. I mean, people, especially in what we do, what I do, it's very superficial. It's kind of the nature of it. Um, but I mean, I'm at least more comfortable where I am right now. And now that I'm older, I always say I don't consider myself old yet. Um, but I know once you hit 30, for a lot of people, it's like, you're a senior citizen in the gay world. But in any case, uh, yeah, I've definitely been through, and I'm not just saying that, but in general, some rough stuff that really kind of changes your outlook on things. And a lot of times people are, I've kind of had this conversation or this talk before, but sometimes people are like, "Aren't you worried someone's going to find you or see you or see what you've done?" At this point, really, um, I mean, while I prefer them not to, I'm 35. I, I mean, in my line of work, I don't need, any major security clearances as far as I know, or I'm not running for president, and I'm not saying I'm a nobody, but at the same time, it's just it's like really who cares at the end of the day if they found out? It's a little embarrassing maybe. Maybe some people who probably shouldn't have been in your life in the first place, you know, cut you off because it freaks them out or something. Well, them's the breaks. But so I get it, especially younger people, like kind of circling back as my one of my managers at one of the gyms used to say. But circling back, I don't begrudge anyone for uh, wanting to remain anonymous or not show their face on camera, that kind of thing. At the same time, if any of you happen to be those people, um, just kind of take my word for it in the sense. I'm not saying I know everything, but at the end of the day, if you're, you know, just out of high school or if you're in college, whatever, nobody's going to end up caring. You know, they find out you like guys or something. So what? I mean, it, I know that it's different for different people, and some people, their families would literally disown them. I get that, but um, you got to live your life. If you're just living your life the way you you think others expect you to, yeah, you're never going to be happy. I know this. Welcome to my TED talk. Um, I appreciate. um, Sorry, I know I'm going off on a thing here, but still, it's worth mentioning because I see it all the time. It's like, especially younger people. Um, Sorry, one second. Oh, I just got a message about something. I just had to check for a second. Um, but like, there's this guy that I don't know. I think I added him just because I was bored on Snap, and but I mean, I see it all the time on Grinder and other places also, where you know, you send a picture of yourself. I mean, and we're not talking about anything graphic, just like a face picture, something like that. Um, oh no, I can't do that. I'm DL. Again, it's like not to beat a dead horse because you probably heard this rant a couple times, but it's like I'm not here to out you. I don't care. I mean, I don't care in the sense that what do you think I'm going to do? Especially, let's say on Snap, where I'm not saying there's if I was really a scammer, I'm sure there's ways to get around it, but I'm not trying to out you. I don't even maybe most cases I don't even know your name, where you live, all this other kind of stuff. All I would see is your face because I want to see those pearly whites. I just want to see what you look like. I don't care if you're, or I'll put it this way. I'm not trying to out anyone. I'm always very careful in the sense that, um, you know, and maybe he's watching. I doubt it, but if you are, so be it. Um, I'm not saying anything about the person, but it was just that, he's like, don't show this to anyone because basically my family disowned me. Like, I, your secret's safe with me. I'm not going to show anyone. I have no reason to. I have no desire to. What would I get out of leaking your face picture that I guess you were on Grinder? What is it going to go on? What's that really annoying site that um, the TMZ? I guess on TMZ. This person's you know this person's a cocksucker. Yeah, I mean, pardon my French, but no, it's like if you're DL, that's fine. You can be DL, but be DL and at least have the respect or the consideration or have the intelligence to understand that realistically, no one's looking to out you unless they're an actual scam, in which case, that's another case. But 99.9% of people are not looking to out you, and uh, and at the same time, even if they do, realistically, so what? You know, uh, we're not even talking about some of the stuff I do, like collabs or other things. Let's just say they find out you're on Grinder. Okay, so they find out you're gay. I'm not saying there's not a lot of hate out there. I'm just saying, you know, yeah, maybe again it's embarrassing, but it just reminds me of like when you're in high school or middle school or in elementary school. It's like everyone's so concerned about what others might think of them. People, everyone. What's the saying? Everyone has a battle or a fight that that they're going through that you know nothing about. And it's true. People are concerned with their own lives. At the end of the day, they don't care if you're gay or whatever. Just and if you really want to be happy, I mean, I'm not saying Grindr is the place to be happy, but you get my point. Um, you know, if you want to find a guy or girl, whatever, but if let's say you want to find a guy to do stuff with, um, you know, I hate to break it to you, but you're not going to get anywhere by saying I'm DL. I don't send any pictures of myself. Well, then how the fuck do I know what you look like? And I asked this one of these people on Snap recently. I said, "Well, okay, so what happens if you show up and uh, I say, no, I don't, you know, I don't like the way you look because realistically, I mean, especially given the fact that he wouldn't send one beforehand, because I've had people that have shown up that I've met that didn't look quite like their picture, but no, I mean, what if like I don't even know what you look like and you show up and I'm like, oh God, um, I hate to be that superficial guy, but it's just true. Um, he's like, well, I guess we just won't hang out then. Like, God, can you guys? I'll say one more time and I'll just let it go after that. But if you're DL, that's fine. But there's a difference between being DL and look, if you're gay, if you want someone to suck your cock, if you like sucking cock, if you want a dick in your ass, it's okay. Um, maybe too many years of Catholic school ruined you. I don't know. Um, this is not like a political statement. It's just saying in general, like, you know, unless you want to be miserable for the rest of your life, you're going to have to learn to get comfortable in your own skin, at least to some degree. Uh, do we all have things we either feel insecure about or you know, don't like, whatever? Absolutely. This doesn't necessarily need to be one of them. And it's not a matter of saying, oh, just, give it a week and you'll get over it. I know it's not that simple. I've had my own issues with that, but you get better at it over time. So what I'm trying to do is, in a sense, take a prophylactic measure and just tell you that if you're younger and watching this, you know, we're not trying to out you. People don't really care. Um, you know, even if you did have, like, let's say, I don't know, a sex video out there, unless you're, really going for like a high profile, you know, security job or something like that, it's never going to come up, really. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. But just the whole DL thing, I've had a number of those lately, and it's just it it bugs me, not because you're DL, but because, you know, you're so afraid that just that, of sending anything that, you know, like even just a regular face picture. I'm not talking about it, they'd actually rather send like a picture of their dick or something like that than send a picture of their face. Um, but or they'll show their ass cheeks spread, but God forbid I see, this up here. Um, which again, for me personally, just for you guys out there, and like I said, I will let it go. But just on a slightly separate note, some people are really attracted to, you know, big ass, big dick, uh, tall guys, short guys, whatever. Um, I like a really good looking face that's, cute, handsome, that kind of thing. You know, someone liked it the last time I said it. If it looks like you got hit by a car, at least on a superficial level, um, I'm just not really going to be interested. Sorry. It's how my brain works. We all have preferences. Um, I don't, I try not to at least begrudge people for, if they say no one over 30, um, do I like it? Not necessarily, but I accept it because that's what they've chosen. There are certain things that just don't get my dick hard. And that's just the way it is. Oh, you're this, you're that, you're ageist, you're sexist, you're racist, you're blah blah blah. Whatever. It's like no, it's just I'm turned on by what I'm turned on by. Um, just like in the same way sexually, there are people I've run into a number of them where you know, they love, let's say, there's a certain person I'm thinking of right now. I'm sure is not watching, um, but in either case, I mean, like his main kink is rimming or eating ass, whatever. And I have a great ass, apparently. It's not me saying it, that's a lot of other people and him. And so he loved eating ass, but absolutely did not like kissing. To him, it was gross, which, I mean, obviously, if you're eating ass, I'm expecting that, you know, I don't normally do, but if I'm eating your ass or if you're eating my ass, it better be clean. But well, let's just say that. But in either case, just the idea that, you love eating ass, but kissing someone is gross is it's more humorous to me than anything. Um, so it's like, but again, that's his preference. I'm not judging him for it necessarily. I try to be a very non-judgmental person because I realize that everyone, and that's life in general. Um, you know, some people are into certain things and some people aren't. Um, you know, I'll ask people because I like being rimmed. It's not like a must-have, but I like it. I might ask, "Are you into rimming?" No. Okay. Um, I will say, if you don't like giving head or oral whatever, um, I I wouldn't maybe go so far as to say it's a deal breaker, but it's gonna be pretty tough from there because I love getting head, and, guys that swallow and that kind of thing, so, um, you know, if you wanna shoot your shot with me, go ahead, but just be aware that, you better be ready to suck some dick too, um, but, you know, it is what it is. Just I know it's a little cheesy to say, but, uh, it's true. I mean, you'll try not to get angry at people for either not being into what you're into or not being into you. um I know it's hard to believe, but I have plenty of people that aren't into me, and I'm not saying it's always the case, but a lot of the times it seems like the people that I'm into aren't into me, and the people that are into me, I'm not that into. Um, don't know why, just seems to be the case. I mean, I could take a few educated guesses, but even still, just accept that and don't get all in a huff that if someone's not into you. Um, does it hurt sometimes, or does it hurt your ego a little bit? Maybe, sure, but you know, it is what it is. Um, so anyway, um, that's it. I'm not leaving. I'm just wondering, you know, if there's anyone else. I hope Coco Fondue is still there. But in general, does anyone else have anything to say as far as, and you probably are, probably, I mean, I don't know, but maybe half of you are typing right now, and for some reason it's not going through, which again, if you're just joining me, um, sorry. If you see me squint at the camera, it means that I usually just got a message or something. Um, but uh, if you're just joining me, one of the things that I was saying before is that, um, I'm not going to keep paying $90 a month, which again started as a free trial, but, you know, just to let it lapse basically, for a streaming service that whether it's X or whether it's the streaming service itself, I don't know, but either way, something's not working, and it's just not feasible to keep doing this if there's not some kind of you know reward. Wow, did we just jump up 20 people or so at a time? Wow. Um, I mean, that's good. That's great. Um, but um, And again, even if for some reason the chat here isn't working, you can always shoot me a DM. You can always comment on one of the things I've posted, whatever. Um, as far as I know, at least. So, but again, and I'd love to do more of these. And I mean, I still have basically a month left because it's like I think I got billed last week, basically. But um, but just long term, I mean, it's not feasible if I'm not either getting tips, if I'm not uh, monetizing it somehow. Um, it's just how it works. Um, again, kind of like what I was saying before, and I'm only repeating it just because we have a number of new viewers here. Um, even if it meant like almost no tips, I'd still rather do stuff on OnlyFans because, again, I could be both like I could be free and open as far as nudity and sexuality and stuff, and hopefully the chats would work as well, that kind of thing. I just, among other things, I need more signups, but I need B, I need to know basically what days and times work for people so that, because everyone has their own schedule. If I show up and there's no one online or whatever, and I mean, I know myself, I have an OnlyFans account where I'm a creator, but I'll check in, see if there's any messages. I mean, but I'm not like staying on there for extended periods of time. So, um, chances are people aren't going to see it right away. And again, if you'd like me to switch to basically what's called a pay-per-view model, which is like free or very low subscription, and then you can basically pick and choose what content you want to buy as opposed to, and also leads more often to tipping, that kind of thing. Um, or whether you want a subscription service, which I've been doing so far. I really don't think $10 is a whole lot. I'm not gonna get on you guys about that. I'm just saying in general, um, doesn't seem like a whole lot, but you know, a lot of people have the, you can renew or not renew, and a lot of people have the renew off. I mean, I don't think because of anything content related, they want to see the content, but it's like they figure, oh well, and I've heard this from people before. They're like, well, I mean, I'll see what I want to see, and then you know, maybe I'll resubscribe in a month or two to see if they have anything else. It's like, well, that's all well and good, but I mean, it's not a good stream of income. Again, out of the $10 that I make or that I charge, I'm making $8 because OnlyFans has to get their cut. Um, so, um, but in any case, point being, it's not meant to chastise you guys. I'm just saying that in general, um, I'd really like to kind of move things in that direction, especially if I'm going to do more live stream kind of stuff. Um, and feedback really helps. Constructive feedback. Don't be a douche. Uh, but yeah, and again, only repeating just because we have some new viewers. Many of you probably saw the post that I made about the new collab that I did, which is a banger. It is hot, and um, cute 18-year-old guy, know, amazing at sucking dick, like genuinely. Um, and uh, I showed the cum shot because I figure, okay, just jump right into the deep end and show them, the good stuff, or one of the good stuff right away. Um, but again, I have it in writing and other stuff, their consent and everything to post it. They just don't want to go through the process of the release form that OnlyFans provides. Um, so I can't post it on there. I'd like to post more on Twitter. Like I'm open to essentially posting the entire. Like you guys could have like basically two whole collabs. That one, which is like 30 minutes, and then the other one where I'm bareback and for first and so far only time, and breeding guy. And I don't have a set price necessarily, but I'm not unreasonable. It's like I just want someone to chip in some stuff to kind of make it worth my while, as opposed to just giving a whole collab out basically for free. Um, it just doesn't seem, you know, entirely fair. I mean, um, you know, I want to, like, I want to put it out, but I want some incentive also. I mean, you know, got bills to pay also, especially kind of advertising my new training business and everything. Well, not new training business, but I'm more advertising now as far as like on Facebook and Instagram, that kind of thing. So that kind of thing costs money, and I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm not asking for $1,000. If I got to, I don't know, altogether maybe 150 something, I don't know. I'm just pulling that out of the air. I'd probably post the whole bid, um, but haven't had one taker so far. And that's more what kind of bugs me is that, you know, again, maybe there's this feeling that, because I know a lot of you probably want to see it, but it's probably this feeling of, well, someone else will do it, but no one's done it. No one's done anything. Um, so, there is the link tree in the profile. Um, and again, hopefully with our time together, um, you've come to see that I'm I'm actually a decent guy, and I'm pretty genuine, and I'm not trying to gouge anyone or anything like that. It's just um, I enjoy doing this kind of stuff. I just need, as I said before, kind of like an attaboy, but some kind of motivation to keep doing it other than, just the little short, you know, dopamine boost or whatever of, the like. I love it. Um, but it's not, it doesn't quite do it as far as, you know, me putting in the effort to, you know, put out the kind of content I want to put out. So all I'm asking is just chip in a little bit. I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, and I know I say this a lot. I'll leave it at this after in just a second, but I'm not saying that if you do, it's great, but I'm not saying that any one person has to, pay $100 or something like that. But just, you know, if I have over 800 followers, I don't know how many are legit and how many are not, but if they all chipped in $5, whatever, I'm not going to do the math, or I don't know it off the top of my head, but you know, that would help. Obviously, I'd prefer more, but you get the idea. Um, so just, you know, help out a little. That's all I'm saying. Um, and subscribe, because again, I want to keep doing these. I just can't pay $90 a month to talk to you guys and not be able to communicate also, because I'm sure there are things you'd like to say that are not getting through. Um, and I mean, this always happens also where I mean, I don't know if you're still online. I hope you are again, Coco Fondue, but I'll get like one or two commenters, and then at a certain point, it's like they've maxed out as far as, what, they can say, I guess. Don't know why. I'm just accepting it at face value. Um, that being said, again, before I move on, I'm going to repeat one other thing. It's just that, um, again, please, as far as feedback in general, what you'd like to see, what, days and times would work best for you, or if there's something, that would motivate you as far as either the OnlyFans or just in general, um, you know, please let me know. Like, because I'm kind of rudderless as far as like I can take a pretty good guess at what a lot of you guys want to see, but I'm not a mind reader either. So I need some kind of feedback. Um, so whether it's a DM or whether you drop a comment in one of the posts or something like that, um, I'm thrilled that I have over, it's like, roughly, give or take, about 825 followers right now, which I know compared to a lot of people is nothing, but to me it's something. Um, and I appreciate each and every one of you that are actually legit. Um, and I want to make you happy. I'd like you to make me happy, but um, but I want to make you happy too. So let me know what you want to see. If for some reason, obviously, it's not working through the live stream, at least let me know some other way. You should be able to contact me at least on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. Or again, if I squint, that means I see something. Um, or again, if you happen to have seen me on Grindr, you can communicate with me that way. Or uh, well, I mean, they're professional pages, but I'm gonna do a little, just a brief shameless self-promotion. But as I mentioned, I've been doing a lot of advertising, and if you're in the Virginia area, which I am, you may have seen it, but it's 3D Fitness and Training on Instagram or Facebook. The only difference is that on Instagram, there's no capitalization, just didn't let you do that. So, but either way, it's spelled out 3D Fitness and Training. On Facebook, it's 3 capital D, capital F, fitness and capital T training. But um, but again, that's what I do. I'm a personal trainer. I have my own business. Um, um, I don't say it about everything, but I am pretty damn good at it. So it's it's worth checking out because I mean, not just in the sense that um, obviously I'm looking for clients, that kind of thing. But and I have clients, but I could always use more. I'm trying to build it. Um, but you'll see a lot of stuff that I think you'd like, even though it's not nude stuff or it's not sexual in the sense of it's not a collab, but um, it does give genuine, and I think, at least in my own way, humorous tips on, you know, how to get more fit, you know, tips for, getting the most, for getting fit or getting the most out of your workouts, um, highlights of me doing, like I've made whole videos, which I may have to kind of redo because at the time when I made them, I didn't realize the different format sizes and everything. But in either case, highlights of me, doing especially mixed martial arts or MMA, or as a layperson may say, "Oh, you do UFC?" Yes, I do UFC. Um, but um, or highlights of jujitsu, that kind of stuff. So combat sports, and that's what I provide. I'm guessing, not to stereotype, but I'm guessing it's probably not a lot of your guys' forte, but still a lot of you guys at least kind of like are turned on by the idea of, you know, hot dominant fighter kind of type. Um, but you'll find a lot of stuff that I think uh, that you'll like. All I would ask is, and I mean, I'm not that concerned about it in either case, but just, keep it professional. Um, as opposed to, X is the place where it's like, oh, I want to suck your cock. Well, okay, fair enough. Fair play. You know, I get that much, but, you know, those pages are more meant for just, as far as communication and everything, or comments, whatever, you know, um, being professional. Um, Because believe it or not, actually, in my professional life, I mean, that's one thing. There's, I'll say this real quick. There's also a shit ton of testimonials, like full on testimonials, which I kind of started to redo, in the sense that a lot of people don't have the attention span to read kind of like whole blocks of text. So I'm trying to make a series where I pick certain quotes that I think kind of sum up the sum it up best. Uh, but um, I mean, like in the sense of don't take my word for it. And I didn't write any of these or tell these people what to say. They said it, and you'll notice several themes. One of which is that I'm very friendly and professional and personable. uh, You know, usually greet them with a smile, not like a fake, like used car salesman smile, but like a genuine, friendly kind of. People feel comfortable talking to me or being around me. I'll put it that way. Also, on top of that, what people would expect, because there are a lot of misconceptions about what a personal trainer is or does, is, and one of the things that I hate most, kind of on either end, but one is being a cheerleader, which I mean, again, I graduated, my degree was in psychology. And it wasn't just like oh, let me just pick something and I'll go with it, kind of degree. No, like I'm legitimately invested and enjoy it and interested in psychology, and so that's actually helped a lot in my field. Um, but I can't remember exactly where I was going, and That's what happens when you get hit in the head too much. But um, but on top of that, I mean, I know my shit. People are, oh yeah, it's stereotypes, but either that someone's gonna be a cheerleader or that, you have the drill sergeant that's, gonna just yell at them and criticize them the whole time. That's not what a personal trainer is. Basically, I don't have it off the top of my tongue. I'm sure if I wrote it out, I could, think about it and come with something better. But basically, a personal trainer there is to make sure that you reach your goals, you get the most out of your workouts, that and that you, at least in my opinion, that you learn proper form, technique, you feel comfortable in the gym, you don't feel like a deer in the headlights. Um, and while some of it is, a lot of it is psychological, but a lot of it is people really don't know how to work out, like as far as either structuring their workouts, as far as their technique, um, as far as what to do if they get injured or how to prevent injury, all that kind of stuff. And I just see all the time people wasting their time in the gym or other places. We're doing something with horrible form, and I'm like, well, it's going to catch up to you in 20 years. So the other thing, I'm very good at what I do as far as actually knowing training, um, and I'm very engaged. And the reason I say that is because um, and I know most of you probably aren't here to listen about training, but just bear with me. This is what I do. Um, but there's a number of trainers that I mean I've seen personally that you know you're you're training someone and or they might be training someone and quote unquote and they're doing like walking lunges, down down the aisle or whatever you want to call it. And they're having a conversation with someone else or on their phone or just sitting down, off in the distance while the person's doing those lunges. Like, I mean, for one thing, not everyone, but um, I've worked with a lot of seniors, and with seniors, one of the biggest things is you got to watch out for balance, or that's one of the things they need most. A lot of it has to do with core strength, but in general, balance. So if I were to have them doing something similar to that, let's say, a walking lunge, just as an example, um, I'm right there next to them and making sure that, they're feeling where they're supposed to be feeling it, that, you know, they're not feeling pain. And there's the difference between pain and soreness. I'm okay with soreness. I don't want you to feel pain like you would my elbow is really hurting, or my knee is really hurting, or something like that. That's different. That'll lead potentially to injury, which is, as I always tell my clients, it's not a good look for either of us if you get injured. Um, you know, um, but I'm very hands-on, and maybe some people don't want that. And to be fair, each client's different, so you have to approach each client differently. But um, as a general rule of thumb, I try to be very uh, engaged with the client because they're a paying client. They're paying you for, in most cases, at least that hour. Some sessions are longer. I some A lot of trainers will do maybe half-hour sessions. I really don't like doing that because it's always like a sprint. It's n- not that comfortable. And it's like, really, how much are you going to get done in the half hour? But for most people, but in either case, let's say for that hour, they're paying for that hour, and I want to give them my full time and attention. And to be fair, there's a lot of trainers that don't do that. And how they're able to get clients with that kind of thing, I mean, I know a couple ways. Maybe they're ingrained in kind of a school system, whether they were a coach or a teacher or something like that, and they have connections. But as in general, I just don't get how those people have clients. Again, one thing you need to know about me is that whatever I'm doing, now to be fair, I have to have a passion for it, whether it's fighting, whether it's training, whether it's the sex stuff you see here. Um, that kind of stuff I have a passion for. And if I have a passion for it, I go all in on it. Like I try to give it my all. Do I always succeed? No, um, but there are certain things that, if I'm not interested in something, like, wasn't terrible at it, but I never liked math, for instance. Algebra 2, suck my dick. Um, uh, you know, I'm just not invested in that kind of thing. But like training or this kind of stuff, um, I enjoy and I'm passionate about. So hopefully that comes through. If it doesn't, I apologize, but it should. Um, but it's always a learning curve, also. Like how I started training, how I started this, how it, as far as X and OnlyFans, how I started doing any number of things is not how it always ends up. It takes a while to kind of learn stuff, but if I'm passionate about something, I'll keep learning about it and I'll get better at it. And hopefully you see that. So, um, you know, just real quick, one last time: 3D fitness and training on Facebook or Instagram. Plus, you got the OnlyFans, blah blah blah. You'll find all kinds of good stuff that you like. And obviously, for the Facebook and Instagram, it's not even a subscription. You just go there, and I mean, I would just ask that you follow and maybe like something, um, or if you have a respectful comment or something, that always helps. Um, but I'm not expecting any money necessarily. I'm not going to complain if you do give it, but in either case, um, yeah, I mean, what I'd love to do is, not to be a dead horse, I'd love to hear your feedback. Like, I wish right now I could see what some of you are probably trying to say, but you're not able to get through for whatever reason it is. Um, so find another way to say it. Um, that being said, hopefully with any luck, well, I may have Collabor 2 coming down the line on top of the ones that uh, I've done, which again, I'm not going into that whole spiel. I'm basically hoping some of you guys will be generous enough to chip in to give me the motivation to post more of that. Um, link tree in the description, uh, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, whatever. Um, but in either case, yeah, I'm looking to add more content on here and to, get back to this too. And it looks like I may have some, I've gotten not everything, but a lot of the stuff that I'm trying to get done, um, with the training side, as far as some of the content that I've been working on done, so that I can focus a little more on the content for here. So all I ask, they be a little patient with me as far as kind of trying to more or less manage two businesses in their own way. Um, and I like both. So again, I'm not going anywhere. Um, just bear with me. Um, again, can't do it a whole lot, and I know I've probably done it to death, but um, let's see. Just gonna adjust this. I pray to God this doesn't do anything to the thing whenever I attach that. But I just really like that angle there. Um, I mean, I know they always say that downward angle is better aesthetically, whatever. But still, I'm not saying it's perfect, but I mean, see some abs there. You can see some muscles there. Again, different people are in different things. I actually did shave the other day because I mean I was getting like my armpits were really hairy, and um, some people are into that, but at least for working out and stuff, it gets to be a bit of a nuisance. Uh, Again, I'd really like to do more, just kind of restricted a little bit by what I can. But as far as videos, I mean, I actually have it on my wonderful bed right here, because you know I just have some ideas. Got the old penis pump here. I got to get more toys, by the way. I mean, if nothing else, if you guys want to chip in for maybe getting some kind of toy to try, or like even like I mean, I haven't done it, but like if you guys were interested in seeing me try a dildo or something for the first time, um, I better get something out of it. But in any case, you got your lube. I promise I didn't just put this here beforehand for the video. This was already here because last night I was thinking of doing, um, and if you're new here, one of the content things I'm thinking of doing, I mean, it's not anything earth shattering, but basically doing a jerk off. And because I know a lot of times I don't come in the videos because, long story short, I kind of get like the feeling of being worked up, and either I feel or I fall asleep before I come, or any number of different things. But I want to make like a good cum shot video, and because I shoot a lot, and I think for you cum lovers out there, you'd love that. Um, got the little pocket pussy thing here. Um, which feels pretty good. Um, got the old fleshlight here. That is actually a female one that I got. I mean, I don't know how long ago. I went into basically a sex shop around where I was at the time, and uh, got it. And damn, those things are expensive. It was like $120 or something for it. Jesus. I actually even have, sorry, one more. It's actually a guy's one that you can see. Hopefully, it's you know asshole. I don't know if it's a cum or what, but the thing is that generally, I mean, you can, but it's sometimes better not to come in them because then you got to do a whole cleaning out process, which you know just becomes a hassle. Let's see, just get at my box of toys. You got your Magnum condoms, which it's not to be egotistical. It's that I mean, you've probably heard before. I'm above average. I'm not saying I'm the biggest. I mean, I'm longer than average. It's maybe 6 1/4, but I'm overall much thicker than a lot of guys. And so, I mean, hell, me posting about this, you probably, I'm sure you saw the picture. Um, but, um, and I'm not saying I'm the thickest because there's always going to be some asshole out there. Well, I've seen way thicker. But compared to the average guy, I'm definitely thicker. So basically, I need Magnum condoms. Um, so I've got a number of different types of lube for like the fleshlights and stuff. You need um, they definitely recommend water-based lubes as opposed to anything else, because otherwise apparently it damages the material. Um, I don't even know where I got half this stuff, but Intimate Glide lube. I do have one here that um, KY warming jelly. Um, so that's interesting. Um, I mean, it's not icy hot, but you get the idea. It kind of adds a little warming sensation to it. I don't know why I have so much lube. I have another warming jelly on here. Uh, and most of the stuff never sees the light of day, really. But, here's some of the actual condoms. Let's see. Oh, and they were nice enough when I got the really expensive fleshlight. They put in a little bit of what they call flesh lube, which is just basically lube, but water-based lube. Now, for, uh, this is actually for video like this. Is this a cock ring? Actually, I can't remember what this even is. I don't know. Maybe it is. Sorry, it just hit a quick. But when I was younger, many of you know this, maybe many of you don't. Maybe I was much more bi when I was younger. I mean, I was basically about as attracted to girls as I was to guys. Um, I've not been with a girl sexually, but it doesn't mean I wasn't attracted to them. I more or less basically had a few girlfriends. I don't know if you'd call them quote unquote girlfriends, but it was pretty much understood. Um, but among other things, let's see, this is all girl related stuff, but um, barely legal too. Let's see, uh, nailing the babysitter. Let's see, Bang Bros. Well, probably shouldn't be showing that. I don't know. Nut and Honeys. 100% pure amateur teens. So those are all we call straight porn, but I mean, I haven't watched them in forever. Some are actually softcore where you can barely see stuff going on, but it's all from my younger days. Or I mean, a lot of it is at least. Doesn't mean I don't ever use it, just uh, not as much. Let's see, can I zoom in here at all? Nope, I guess not. So I'm kind of stuck in that position unless I want to switch things up. But I would love, honestly, to do kind of like a series or something where, I kind of review different toys or that kind of thing. Although, again, toys are expensive, which, drum roll please, I I'm not, making a, making bank, so I would need some help with that. But if if you have any ideas for toys or anything like that that you'd like me to try out, um, within reason, I don't need some foot long BBC dildo, you know, but uh, at the same time, I'm open. Um, if you'd like to see, all I ask is for a little bit of help. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe there's a misconception, maybe not, but the penis pump, it doesn't really, it's not like it turns you on necessarily. It just kind of puffs up your dick so it looks bigger. Um, let's see. Oh, I have the cock ring that, funny enough, that one of my clients gave me, because it came with, it was like a free giveaway sort of thing. So it's not like a really special or form fitting, whatever. But it is a cock ring nonetheless. Um, so, um, but yeah, I'd love to try out. I mean, like in particular, if it interests you at all, I'd love like they call them like milking machines, whatever they are. Basically, excuse me, like a fleshlight, but it does all the work for you. It just it milks the cum out, and uh, like you don't do any of the work, kind of thing. Um, but I mean, again, I'm open to whatever. I'm just saying that if you guys want to get me something for Christmas or something, that's certainly uh, one of the things that I would request, I guess. Um, if there's any outfit, I mean, I'm just throwing ideas out there, but I still have wrestling singlets from when I was in high school and stuff like that. Actually, I think I posted some recently, or at least one of my grinder pics is one that I took recently. Um, I don't, like apparel, I'll put it that way. They'd like to see. Um, you know, Let me know. Um, Again, I have a lot of ideas that kind of swirl around my head, but I want to know basically what you want to see, or what you prefer to see. Um, and everyone's going to be different. Some people are going to say, "Oh, I like feet. I like armpits. I like you know chest hair. I like you know toy play. I like collabs. I like this. I like that." Um, that's fine. I just want an idea. And again, I'm assuming a couple of people dropped off, and it's getting a little late, and I got to go soon anyway. But I actually went longer than I expected. But uh, I would like, uh, lost my train of thought. Again, apologize. Part of it's being late, part of it's stuff in my mind, part of it's being punched in the head. I don't know, I'll be lucky if I remember my own name by the time, if I make it to 50, whatever. But yeah, just give me feedback. I mean, really, that would help a lot. I mean, give me money too, but feedback certainly also. I want to know what turns you on, and I want to, you know, within reason. I'm not. I will say I'm not planning on doing anything that you might call launch related, that kind of thing. It's just not my bag. But uh, hip to the groove. It sounds so stupid, um, but yeah, within reason. Let me know what you'd like to see. Um, uh, and again, I'm hoping honestly within next. I'll put it this way because I don't want to lie, but probably within the next week, you know, a decent length, jerk off and come video. Um, Although I don't know if I can promise the come part for free. I mean that part might be saved for the OnlyFans as incentive, but I mean I hate to say it, but $10. Let's you spend that much on a cup, like a Starbucks thing. Um, but anyway, um, uh, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of trimming. Uh, Down. I did some the other day because again, a lot of people like the chest hair, and that's totally fine. Um, and as you can see, I still have it. I just got to trim it every so often because if I don't, I'll turn into like your typical bear, which to me is just both not appealing and also and I hate to say it, but from a workout perspective, um, like comfort is everything for me as far as like clothing, you know, others, if you have a lot of armpit hair, I walk outside, on a cold day and I start sweating. I don't know. It's just genetics. That's how I'm built. I sweat very easily. So having a lot of armpit hair doesn't help um, with that issue. Um, but, um, but yeah, just let me know what you guys think also, because I know, I mean, I think I'm too old enough at this point to be classified as a twink, but twunk maybe still. We'll see. Um, but I, I will say I get a lot of, and people have mixed views on this, but I don't ask people to call me this. I just get it a lot. People call me daddy, which it. I'm not saying I'm completely turned off by it. It's just it feels a little bit weird because I don't feel like a daddy, if that makes sense. Um, but if you want to, wherever you can, it just um, yeah, kind of in the same way that I like being verbal with a lot of people. Like I'll like kind of my go-to. It's just it is what it is. You know, I like calling a guy a bitch or like making a guy my bitch. You know, sometimes they'll say faggot or something like that. It's not meant as like you know the slur that a lot of people take it as, but I like to be kind of verbal and degrading. It's what turns me on. But some people like one guy, and I'm not mad at him or anything like that. But it's just like you know, please don't call me faggot. I really don't like that. Which understood. Um, but yeah, yeah. Again, I still got a little bit of work to do, but again, not saying it's perfect, but you can definitely see, abs there. I noticed that the same six pack that you've seen probably in some other pictures, but it's definitely it's getting there. Um, I'm trimming down here too. Um, I prefer if I'm with someone, just a little fun fact or tidbit. I'm not saying you have to be completely totally shaved or whatever like that. I would say please shave your balls though, because I think too many, well, both, and with a lot of hair, some guys are into it, but it's easy to build up kind of a funk as far as I guess the smell, but also, if you're sucking on balls or whatever. I personally really like balls. That's like a weird kind of turn on of mine. Um, I like, especially when watching porn, like on the top, even on the bottom, whatever. Um, balls turn me on, but I'd prefer if they were shaved or trimmed. I guess you could put it that way. Um, it's just annoying when this has happened before. Because believe it or not, even though I'm more of a top, you know, I I haven't been fucked, but I have sucked dick. I've been face fucked and sucked balls, whatever. Um, it's just to me, it's not really that enjoyable if you're going down a guy and you're constantly getting hit in the face with bush and where you're sucking guys' balls and you come out and you have to pull out hairs from it. It's just not um, not great. So just be. I'm not saying again totally shave like baby smooth. Just um, manscape, as they say. Um, yeah, I manscape in the sense of uh, again like my chest, especially a bit on the stomach. Um, you know, down here in that fun area. Um, some guys like it, a lot of them don't. But if I don't, like my back hair, it's starting to come in again, but it it gets to be too much. Um, so it's like me personally, again, as far as my types, um, sorry, I'm just getting some. If you've watched me before, you know that I take certain medications, uh, psychiatric medications, at certain times of the day. Um, I'll not say what, but mainly for anxiety and depression, that kind of thing. Uh, but if you're going, yeah, as far as my types, I definitely prefer, well, body hair, especially like legs. Legs, I'm basically okay with, you know, hair on your legs, as long as they're not like crazy hairy. But definitely not a big fan of like a lot of chest hair or back hair, um, or you know, too much bush or hairy balls, that kind of thing. Um, the bush and hairy balls are, I mean, it's a bit aesthetic, but it's more so like functional. Like I just, again, if, and I don't suck all the time, but if I were to suck, I'd rather not deal with all that. Um, like really hairy asses, that kind of thing. I mean, like you could have a really cute guy, but you know, you can tell he's never like touched his ass as far as I mean, he looks like a goddamn bear down there. Um, with how much ass hair he's got, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Um, so just do everyone a favor, and part of it's just hygienic. Also, that's one thing I'm kind of anal about. Also, if you watch me before, you know that I have legitimate OCD. Um, and I say legitimate because a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm OCD about this, I'm OCD about that." No, like I actually have the disorder, um, and it manifests itself in different ways. Uh, but in general, I'm kind of skeeved out by just unhygienic behavior or stuff like that, or you know, like, if a guy came over, he had BO or something, which, I mean, it happens, but I don't know what the thought process there is. Um, I don't, it's like, come on, guys, use your head. Um, you know, but I'll tell you a quick story, and then I probably do have to run because it's getting late and I got to get up early. Um, if it helps at all, and I know it's a good view, but I'm just gonna switch for a minute because kneeling down there, you'll appreciate this after the story. But um, I don't know, this is probably maybe a month or two ago. But um, I I met up with a guy, and I I'd never really been with like a really dominant guy before. But I met this guy. I'll keep all this information private, but I think he's like 21 years old. Good looking Latino guy, and but we basically had a lot of the same interests, as far as what we were into, like um, not against fucking, but really into like oral and face fucking, and feeling like if we're gonna come, I'd like to come, in someone or on someone, as opposed to just jerking off. Um, and so this guy came over. It was about an hour drive for him. Got everything kind of ready. I mean, he said that he'd love like a shake. So I mean, I was, which I know sounds like, why is he mentioning that? Only reason is just because, like, I was trying to cater to him, um, like, in any way he wanted, pretty much. I mean, outside of just fucking him, or I mean, him fucking me, I guess. Um, but yeah, he came over and, uh, I mean, I gotta say, he gave me probably the hardest face fuck I've had in my life. Um, uh, I mean, thankfully, no offense if in the 0.001% chance you're watching this. Um, he wasn't small, but he wasn't huge either. So I mean, I could handle it. Um, but we both really love, face fucking. We both really love having our balls sucked. We both really like being rimmed. So um, he face fucked me hard and like basically started, with him, you know, shoving my face into his bulge and like breathing. I mean, he was clean and everything, but it was just, kind of like, you know, breathe those, smell those fucking nuts. And I did, and you know, took it out, and between sucking and face fucking, and there's both, but um, yeah, my throat was definitely really sore for the next several days at least. Um, and I'd never really been a big swallower. I mean, I never, when I was younger, I tried tasting my cum. I've actually been told my cum tastes really good, but I just wasn't personally a fan of it. But over time, I've kind of grown a little more to it. But he had told me, and I expected that he was going to come down my throat. And um, he did twice, actually. He had said that, and it was true, that he could recharge, I guess, pretty quickly, um, or shoot multiple loads. So, just kind of the way I would do it to someone, he did it to me. Uh, he said he actually had come like the night before or something like that. So there wasn't as much as I expected, but it was, I gotta say, it was actually really hot. Um, I I kind of wish I could do it with him again, except um, not going all the details. Basically, I mean, he has other priorities in his life right now, largely financial, and just isn't as interested in meeting up. Not that the meeting like that or anything, but just other priorities. But you know, rimmed him, or a less polite way of saying it. I ate his ass. I even actually asked him because he preferred, or in at least the way he was, like laying down and just having me go down on him that way. Um, but I had never experienced it, so I said, you want to try sitting on my face? Um, so he did that, and just all that was. I mean, thinking back on it, really, it was hot, and I'm not used to being submissive or uh, playing that role, but uh, I mean, he was really dominant and knew what he was doing, and um, just used my face like a fucking fleshlight, I guess. Um, and uh, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say except it was just really hot. And again, having I'd never really swallowed before. The only time I had sort of swallowed was when there was this sort of bi guy, but kind of tall, handsome, sort of a little bit backwoods almost, I guess you would say, but kind of a country boy, or I guess is probably a better term. Um, but he, I sucked him off, and uh, I had asked for a facial, and then, because I didn't really swallow, um, but he started shooting on my face, and I was so turned on that I just kind of took it in my mouth and kept sucking it. But it wasn't like really full on, like swallow it. So that was kind of my first time. And again, this was maybe a couple months ago that I met with this guy. Um, and I'm not trying to sound like the whore again. I actually very rarely meet up, but you live long enough, you meet enough people. Um, but yeah, it definitely wasn't bad or whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna say it tasted like you know cupcakes or anything, but you know, coming on and out or down my throat really wasn't uh, bad like I thought it might have been, because I wasn't sure what to expect really. Um, and again, there also wasn't a ton of it, so um, maybe that helped a little bit. But with the right guy, and again, part of my OCD, I'm deathly afraid of catching something, that sort of thing. So I'm very careful about who I meet up with, everything like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'd definitely be down. I mean, if you guys are open or into making content and obviously you're clean or and you think you'd be my type or close to it and you want to make some content, you thought I was only a dumb top, which I mean largely I am, but at the same time, um, you know I'd actually love to make like a video where maybe I'm sucking someone else off and you guys could see that, see how my head game is. uh, Maybe see me take a load, that kind of thing. um, So, yeah, feel free to reach out that way. Also, just curious, I'm trying to see, look kind of like for a second that maybe, oh, no, that's not what I was looking for. Sorry, never mind. Um, but um, yeah, as far as the whole getting fucked thing, I've said before that in all likelihood, if I'm gonna get fucked, I'd like it to be on camera or on film and uh, probably OnlyFans, whatever. But I don't know. I'm not. I know a lot of you guys like the dom top part of me. I like it too. Again, that's not going away at all. Um, but I think a lot of you guys would also like to see um, a little bit more of a submissive side. Or I ran a poll a while ago saying like, what should my next vid be, and I had a couple of options, but one of them was like, be the bitch, as opposed to making a guy a bitch. Um, and that got a fair number of votes. So um, I'm open to that. And it's not like I would, if I'm not into something sexually, I mean, I, I won't do it. Like, I mean, again, if I'm into the person or if they give off the right vibe, whatever, and obviously they're clean and everything else, um, I'm definitely down to get like face fucked or whatever. Um, but you gotta let me know. Um, so, I mean, I've gone way over what I thought I would because again, do these marathon things, and people are like, "Oh, you did 3 hours," which is my longest one, basically, actually over 3 hours. Um, and yeah, I don't know, the time just kind of flies by. Um, but maybe part of it's because I'm being a trainer. I'm used to essentially being engaged and talking to people for hours at a time. Um, and I really appreciate you guys sticking with me because I can see there's, you know, I don't see who exactly, but I see there's 59 people in here, and it's basically stayed that way. I mean, I think we maybe lost one person or something along the way there, but clearly what I'm saying is at least interesting enough, or you like what you see enough that you're sticking around. So I really appreciate, and I don't take anything for granted, really, whether it's tip, whether it's, the feedback, the whatever, compliment, even, even if you say, because I mean, I've heard a million times, oh, you're really sexy or you're hot. It's not me saying, it's just what I've heard. Um, but I don't take that for granted. I appreciate it. And I hope you appreciate the effort that I've put into doing this stuff. Again, how many other fucking, I'm not mad, but I'm just saying, how many other fucking, uh, you know, creators, whatever you want to call them, are doing 2 hour free live streams? Um, Now, I know I'm not like doing, the same kind of sexual stuff. A lot of them are. I'd like to again, long story, blah, blah, blah. I can't OnlyFans. I can't really hear. I don't feel comfortable necessarily. Um, but that should give you an idea, at least, of how uh, kind of passionate or, you know, how much I want this to work. So work with me and I'll work with you. Um, Love you all. I'm going to gotta get up early, but gonna call it a night. But thank you so much for sticking with me. Don't forget, be generous and provide feedback and like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. 3D Fitness and Training on Facebook and Instagram also. All right. Um, yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it.